Today's episode of the Get Home Safe podcast contains explicit language that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
It's time to play ball. Welcome to the podcast with no limits. Whether it be sports, current events, or random thoughts, this is the place to step in and stay a while. Your host is a proud alumnus of Rio Hondo Prep, a former minor league baseball umpire, and a man with strong opinions. Welcome to the Get Home Safe podcast and your host, Matt Hersema.
Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of the Get Home Safe podcast. I'm joined by the one and only Bill Barnes, who joins us every single Wednesday for the weekly Wednesday weigh-in. Bill Barnes, it actually is Wednesday. Good morning.
I was just going to say that. We're actually doing it on a Wednesday, which is a good thing this week, because we had a lot of unfortunate things happen since our usual day of Monday recording. And we're going to be able to talk about that because it's fluid news that we can talk about that's just happened, and try to put our thinking caps on and try to figure this shit out.
Yeah, absolutely. One
thing I want to start off with before we get started. Last week, if you recall, we tape on Monday. You had presented me with Hondo baseball cap. And even before that, I had mentioned, you always tout yourself as a proud alumnus of Rio Hondo. I mentioned, well, hey, let's go shout out John W. North High School, Riverside, California, where I graduated from. We talked and we said a few things about who the notable alumni is. And I made an asinine, really fucked up statement where I said that if I was a mass killer or a mass shooter, I would have been one of the notable alumni. Stupid thing to say. I regret it. I said it because number one, it's an idiotic fucking thing to say. And I can't reiterate that enough. I meant it as a joke. It's not a joke. It's not funny. As I watched our show Wednesday morning, it was maybe an hour after there was a mass shooting in San Jose, California, where unfortunately about 8 or 9 people were killed. And I thought, you stupid fuck, you should, what a screwed up thing to say. So for those of you that saw that and thought the same thing I did, I absolutely apologize from the bottom of my heart. I felt completely mortified in making that statement. It was meant as a joke. It's not a joke. And forgive me. So with that, we'll move on.
Yeah, and that's one of the things with recording a podcast is you can't tell the future.
No, you can't.
We make predictions and things, but you don't know what's going to happen later that day. And again, joking, you and I always kind of joke that.
And we said it was a joke.
As soon as we're done,
but it's not. It was wrong place, wrong time.
As soon as we're done recording, something crazy in the world happens. That's just kind of how it naturally, Murphy's Law. And in context, Bill, you were talking about your alumni of John W. North and how there's a lot of
both notable and a lot of criminals.
Yes. So that was what he meant. And we're just staying ahead of things here. Right. Bill, I think you're okay. But yeah, And people who know Bill Barnes know that, yes, you do have a heart. It's in there and it's a good heart.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Speaking of good hearts, as you'll notice, folks, I'm going to show it. John W. North. What does it say, man?
Inland. John W. North, boys basketball 2018, Inland Valley League champs, freshman.
Okay. So these lads that played on this freshman team in 2018 are now seniors and graduated. If my elementary arithmetic math doesn't fail me, it would have been 18, 19, 19. Well, no. 18 would have been their freshman year. So you go 18 to 19, 19 to 20. So they're juniors this year.
Okay.
All right. So congratulations to these guys back in the day for being champs.
No, they are seniors.
They are.
Basketball finishes in the year you graduate.
Yes, they do. Okay, they're seniors.
Class of 21, baby.
John W. North High School. I skipped math. I didn't take math class. All right. I need a calculator to figure out how old I am. So anyway, they graduated. Hopefully they were all successful and all that good stuff. This T-shirt was sent to me in a package of, I got a box in my mailbox, last I believe it was Friday.
Were you worried what it was?
I did. I was going to call some bomb because it was labeled Citizen Barnes.
Oh no.
Yes.
After last week.
I'm thinking, okay, there's some crazy kook fan out there that doesn't like me, and they've somehow garnered my address, and they're sending me an explosive material in the mail. So I came very close to calling the authorities to come out and x-ray the thing and make sure there wasn't any booby trap in there. But then I said, you know what? I'm gonna take a walk on the wild side and just open the damn thing. And I did, and it's 5 Goodwill t-shirts. This was one of them. Okay, because we did the shout out about North. Okay, I got this one. I got 4 others. One was a College World Series shirt from like 2004.
Awesome.
And then I got like a Captain Marvel, one that says "Swim like hell," and the other one was "I'm not going to be an adult today." Which
That's you.
all play into who I am.
And these were from
our good friend Margie out in Calamasa, who obviously has nothing better to do again than to go out to Goodwill shops and shop for me and send me t-shirts, which I will wear on the show. And I want to say this one's a little snug. Okay. It's a schmedium, but hey,
it's a freshman shirt.
It's a freshman shirt.
Yeah.
I'm wearing it. You know, it's showing my tremendously well chiseled physique, I might add.
Felt, Bill.
Yes. So thank you, Margie. I appreciate
Margie.
that. And I will, I'm going to, for the next 4 weeks after this, I will wear every shirt that you sent me.
I love it.
And for you other folks out there that want to get on the t-shirt bandwagon with me, send me some shirts.
Yeah.
Send me some shirts.
You saw we had the RHP hat last week for Bill. It's in the car. Is it got any use?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wore it. Yeah. I got out in the sun a couple of days ago and I put it on. So, yes, thank you. And I will put them to good use. I go to thrift stores. I like, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Okay. I do. I go there and I pick up stuff that is gently used, that's been through the washing machine a few times. So it's nice and shrunk up to where it'll fit me. Okay. And you can get good shit for $10. You can get multiple jackets, shirts. I don't get bathing suits. I don't buy pants there. I get t-shirts or athletic attire, tops. I don't get sweatpants. I get stuff. I'm not going to have some other guy's, junk remains.
Enough said.
In my crotch. Okay. So there's not enough washing that could get rid of that.
Oh boy.
So anyway, thank you, Margie.
Hey, we're not begging for merchandise.
No. I've got plenty.
But if you send us anything,
if you send it, we'll wear it.
We'll wear it on the show.
We'll wear it on the show.
For the most part, I should be careful with
anything you send me.
Oh no.
Within good taste, I will wear.
This could get deadly.
If you send me a bikini top, I'm not going to wear it.
No.
No matter how good my boobs look, I'm not going to wear it.
Wow.
Okay.
And I'm a huge Outkick the Coverage fan. I'm sporting a new shirt they've put out, Bill. You've heard F the police before, I'm sure. This is fund the police.
Fund the police.
Fund the police, baby.
Yeah.
So there it is. God bless all the police out there. We have some questions to get to, Bill. We have a lot of topics today.
Well, let's get to it. Let's quit the bullshit.
Yeah,
let's get down to
you're
business.
looking good. John W. North shirt.
It's right here.
Beautiful. Freshman 2018. This is another reason for you listeners out there why you have to watch the show on YouTube now. You got to subscribe to that because you're going to see some outfits from Barnes and I. Okay. While we're on the law enforcement topic, some recent news, Bill, that has broke. Sad news. San Bernardino County sheriffs, and then also was it LA County Fire?
LA County Fire.
Yeah, let's touch on those.
Yes. Okay. Let's real quick, like Monday afternoon. I don't know, mid-morning, early afternoon. There was a chase of a motorcycle out in the Yucca Valley area, San Bernardino County. The motorcyclists evaded the deputies momentarily as they were investigating the motorcycle. Evidently, the rider came back, opened fire, and a sergeant was killed at the scene.
Dominic Vaca.
Yes. I think a 17-year veteran. Yeah. Left behind a couple kids, a wife. Very tragic. Shouldn't have happened. And the deputies returned fire and killed the suspect, which I'm.
Thank you.
Yeah. It saved Governor Newsom giving this guy a free pass down the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know what? You kill a cop, you should die.
No doubt.
All right. So that's what happened there. So that's an open and shut case. Unfortunately, you've got a fallen deputy who leaves behind a family, and
you and I both know. I'm assuming you do, and I know I do know some people in San Bernardino County sheriffs that
yes.
are hurting bad. Right now.
I went through that academy back in the day, so I know a lot of their, the way their work ethic is, and they are hardworking. They pack a lunch and they go to work, and they're there to restore order and enforce the laws, and they do a great job. It's no nonsense. They have a great sheriff and John McMahon who tells it like it is. He's not a politician. He's an elected official, but he doesn't kiss anybody's ass.
Yeah, he
tells it like it is, and I applaud him for that.
Sad indeed. I know a lot of people over there are hurting, and it just goes to show, Bill, this stuff happens, and it's unfortunate. And all the knock on police over the past year, well, for many years, there's still people willing to go out there and put their life on the line. So to the Vaca family, God bless you, and our thoughts and prayers are with you. There was also unfortunately, this was kind of weird, Bill. And what is your take on this?
Well, here
a shooting at a fire station.
Yeah. There was a shooting at Station 81 in Agua Dulce, California. For those of you that don't know where Agua Dulce is, it is between Palmdale and Santa Clarita off the 14 freeway,
30 miles north of downtown LA.
Yes. Big rural area, approximately 10:50 yesterday morning. A off-duty firefighter came into the station. There are 4 firemen on duty at the time. 2 of them were shot. 1 was killed. The other 2 obviously were not hurt. Hopefully they were good witnesses. I'm sure they were, because when the deputies arrived, now keep in mind, this isn't a remote rural location. It took the deputies, and no fault of their own. They rolled deputies from both Palmdale and Santa Clarita. It took them, the response time was about 23 to 25 minutes.
Wow.
And that is obviously rolling with all your gear on and light siren nonstop. Once the deputies got there to investigate, unfortunately, the one firefighter was dead on arrival, dead on the scene there. The other firefighter was airlifted to Henry Mayo Hospital in Newhall, where it was operated on, is recovering now, but critical and stable condition. The shooter was identified as one of their own, a firefighter from that station who was off duty, came in, he left, went to his home, which was about 10 miles away across the 14 freeway. So the deputies responded to his location. His house was on fire. And we watched this on TV. I was at work yesterday. We watched this on TV unfold. And we saw this beautiful, about 3,400 square foot home. Beautiful architecture, lap pool in the back, and an outbuilding that was a gorgeous home go up in flames. And the report was that there was someone deceased in the lap pool. It turned out to be the suspect who, when deputies arrived, evidently shot himself in the head, and he died there and was in the pool. So not knowing what was in there, not knowing that maybe the place was rigged up with some explosives, the only way they fought the fire was through water drops from the helicopters. And they finally extinguished it a few hours later. Once the initial investigation took place, all the things I just told you came to light. Right as of right now, there is no motive why, but I think any reasonably minded person can probably maybe draw a conclusion that there was an ongoing feud between the shooter and perhaps one or all of the folks in that firehouse. And today's news revealed that an inside source from the county of LA said that there was in fact some type of documentation alleging that the two, the shooter and the victim, the murder victim, had some type of ongoing work problem.
Mhm.
And that's basically it. So I was there, I had just finished a shift at my job, and my partner for yesterday was a retired command level LAPD person who is an outstanding individual, great guy. When you work with someone of his caliber and rank, sometimes you're a little intimidated by the fact, hey, I'm working with a retired commander, I got to watch. Absolutely not. There is no rank with him. Mm-hmm. We're partners, and we socialize together. We have the same. I wouldn't even have known he was ever who he was at that rank. Great guy. We sat there and kind of came up with the same conclusion as we were watching this thing unfold, that we both kind of said, it's probably a workplace violence situation, and perhaps there's an ongoing feud. And I'm not going to speculate why. I mean, it could be the fact that maybe
we've all been in workplaces. Yeah. There's conflict that arises. It
could be anything from he's pissed because the guy left the fire truck a mess, or maybe there's some type of extramarital affair going on between one of them with Mr. Somebody and Mrs. Somebody else. Again, speculation.
Absolutely.
There's a wide variety of reasons why. It could be something very simple, which set this guy to snap, or it could have been an ongoing feud as far as the two of them, maybe a business deal, who knows? And the unfortunate thing about this, once the LA Sheriff's Department, their homicide division, does a very thorough investigation, if it was documented and it was on paper that these two had a feud, there's a liability issue there.
Yeah.
And again, we have no idea. We're just saying, for instance, we're jumping ahead. We're not saying that's the case. So anyway, it's something to think about. The bottom line is, you have a dead firefighter. You have a critically wounded firefighter who's going to recover, thank goodness. But this firefighter, I guess, left behind a wife and a couple kids, 3 daughters, I believe. 2 daughters or 3 daughters.
The victim was identified as Tori Carlin, 44 years old, been a veteran of the department for 20 years. Yes.
There's always we always have as a cop, we always had a little inside, kind of a friendly feud with firemen.
Mm-hmm.
The old joke was, a girl meets a fireman and he goes, "Hey, I'm a fireman." She goes, "Hey, cool. Do you have any cop friends?" So we have that little back and forth ribbing that goes on. Okay. But they're there for us. We're there for them when the rubber meets the road.
On days like yesterday, you're all
and
together.
Unfortunately, it's against LA County Fire policy to have any weapons in the firehouse. So
really,
yes, that was brought out at their press conference.
I was not aware of that.
So they were unfortunately ill prepared to deal with this guy. And maybe those rules will change down the road.
Yeah, I was not aware of that. I did not know that. I don't know how much of an arsenal you need there, but I would think that a firehouse would be able to defend itself, especially when they're.
I mean, obviously you got some pickaxes and you got some high caliber hoses, but that's no match for someone who's already open fire.
So someone walked into a gun-free zone and knew that they wouldn't be.
And these fire departments are you cannot use a key to get in. They have, their card keys type. So he had the access to get in. He was a current on duty or a current firefighter who was active, not
scheduled to work that day.
Right. But he was active. He had access to get in, obviously. So our, we grieve their loss. And it's an unfortunate situation, but it goes to show you that these kind of murders and suicides that go with it can strike anywhere, anytime. Nobody's immune from it. There is a mental health crisis in this country, obviously, from the amount of shootings that have happened over the recent time, whether you call it post-pandemic rage or it's just come to the light now because everybody was on lockdown during that time. Who knows? But and again, to those that say it's a gun problem, I disagree. I could take a gun. I could take a loaded handgun or a loaded assault rifle, whatever the case may be. I could put it on this table right here. Okay. Unless a human being picks that thing up and shoots it, that weapon will not discharge on its own for the next 100 years.
Yeah.
So it's not the guns, people. Yes, we have access to them, but the people need to be responsible. There needs to be some personal responsibility for these situations.
For those who pull the trigger.
Don't blame it on society. Don't blame it on, Donald Trump or even Joe Biden for that matter, even though I can't stand the guy and I'd love to, but I can't. Or his vice president who I can't stand and I'd love to. You can't. All right. It's that personal responsibility, that human being who obviously is fucked up in the head. And for whatever reason, they take it out in that fashion. Unacceptable. Something needs to be done. There needs to be a better, red flag system, a better system of being able to see the signs of someone who is struggling. But a lot of times, maybe you're not going to see it. So again, personal responsibility.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, if you want to kill yourself, as unfortunate that is, don't take anybody with you. Just do it. Be however you want to do it. Don't make a mess. Just don't make a mess with other people's lives.
Why do you think that is? Going inside, it's tough to go into someone's head and what's going on. But the people that do end up killing themselves, they have this desire to take other people with them.
Well, I think in this guy's case, maybe, I don't know. I'm not even close to being a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
Yeah.
I'm just a worker bee type, but obviously they've reached some type of frustration in their life where they say, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And perhaps they're going to take with them the person who they feel is responsible for their pain and their agony and their stress. The case in San Jose last week, that was pretty much a given because he allowed some people to flee. No, I'm not going to shoot you. You get away. And he chose those that he wanted to kill.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just to come in and go to kill house on everybody.
8 people, I think.
8, and then he killed him 9 and himself, I believe.
Wow.
Either 8 or 9. Yeah. At a railroad yard, transit yard, right next door to the Santa Clara Sheriff's Department.
I think that was tactical, maybe.
That's where everybody was a shift change thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wanting people.
And this guy had set a fire to his house before he left as a diversionary tactic to have fire go there instead of perhaps where he was going to go do his mass shooting.
Wow. That's interesting. It's so sad. And it's just terrible stuff, but we wanted to comment on that because again, as soon as we're done with the show, something crazy happens. And then unfortunately Monday and Tuesday.
So the investigation is ongoing. It's continuing. The just some insight on this, the Sheriff's Department Homicide Bureau, and probably a lot of other detectives are brought in on this, will interview everyone that belongs to that station, past employees there, supervisors, the fire chief himself, I'm sure will get interviewed. All the battalion chiefs, everybody that's had anything to do with that place is going to be interviewed. Family will be interviewed. Associates, friends, they will do a thorough background on trying to obtain a motive. They'll probably get a search warrant of the suspect's financial records to see if he was, in a financial dire straight situation to where, that was his only way out. I mean, it will be very thorough and they will come up with what they feel is a motive. And probably the best 3 people that will be interviewed are the surviving captain and the 2 other firefighters that were present, because they will be able to say what the suspect said prior to shooting, if he said anything, what the victim said. So That's where they'll start, and it will be thorough. You're not going to have a cause or a motive anytime soon. And the thing you have to worry about in situations like this, to be quite honest with you, is if the county tries to do any type of damage control, cover up, and I'm hoping they will be completely above board and transparent in this investigation, so the truth will be out there.
Yes, I agree with you. So a sad couple of days there, and we definitely wanted to comment on that. So hopefully everything works itself
I mean,
out.
it was the only thing going yesterday. It was on every channel.
Yeah.
When it was highly covered. And speaking of, and let's transition. I just want to make a quick comment about the tennis player.
Oh yes,
What's her name again?
I'm sorry. I should have had this ready. I wasn't sure you would be interested.
Yeah, I want to comment on this.
Okay. Naomi Osaka.
Okay, Naomi Osaka won the 2018 U.S. Open.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Great tennis player. She is in the French Open, and she was fined because she didn't want to talk to the press, and she claimed that she has PTSD, she has stress, and she has depression. Well, God bless her for bringing that up. Okay, I feel for her. I'm totally in agreement with her. If she doesn't want to talk to the press, and you don't have to have an excuse. Fuck the press. Okay. All right. I can't understand why the U.S. Tennis Federation or whoever the hell it is makes the players talk to the press. Okay. I wouldn't want to talk to the press. They're liars. They twist shit.
Yeah.
They are not our friends. The media in the United States has become a state-run media.
Mm-hmm.
The politicians, the left, the Democrats run it. And for that reason, I sure as fuck don't want to talk to the press. And that's your right as a human being. Okay.
Sure.
You go out and you play tennis for a living, or you play baseball for a living, whatever the case is, or you go out and you pick oranges for a living. It doesn't matter what you do. If you have that right as a human being. If you don't want to talk to them, don't talk to them. And how they can force you to go to these press conferences and stand and sit there and listen to these absurd fucking questions that you get is beyond me.
Well, I agree with you with pretty much everything you said, but I'm going to put the shoe on the other foot here just for argument's sake. I mean, isn't there a responsibility of the athlete to do what is required of them, whether it's right or wrong? It is plain as day. It's in clear writing. Athletes must talk to the press. Sure. It just comes with the job. What about that argument, Bill?
I think they're taking it above and beyond your constitutional rights as a human being. If I don't want to talk to you, I don't have to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that, again, the press and networks feed these people. They sponsor the shows. They televise. They pay all kinds of money to televise these things. So they feel that they should be able to interview you. Okay. I see it with, at halftime when these coaches run off the field and they got the micro, they don't want to talk.
No, of course.
But they're contractually bound to have to do it.
Yeah. And that's all it is.
And you can see the pain and the like, why the fuck am I doing this attitude that they do? And I have to, what?
Well, they want you to implode. They want you to lose it. And that's what they're going for, which is sickening. But again, so where would you draw the line? You're talking athletes. Okay. To politicians,
there's enough athletes out there like LeBron James and all these folks that, that stick their head up the press's ass. There's enough out there that don't want to talk.
He'll have more time.
Sure.
He'll have more time. He'll have more time to do that stuff real soon.
Right. The Lakers are going to lose. So, and I'm glad. And he'll have his time.
Yeah.
So there's enough of them out there that like the press and they feed off that complete bullshit. So leave her alone. Leave her alone.
I saw the story and
I don't particularly agree where she's at politically. In the past, she's kind of been a fuck the police, Black Lives Matter person. Okay. And I'm not going to, so I don't agree with that part, but I do feel for her in the other stuff. And I feel because of her situation that she should be left alone.
Well, I'm going to say this, not to be a member of the media or anything, but we just talked about some serious subject matter with mental health out there. Could there possibly be using the mental health issue as like an excuse
Certainly.
for just not wanting to
Certainly.
talk?
Sure, it could be, but
And I know you can't say that because that'll be cruel and you know, whatever. But
I mean, no, I don't. I think. I mean, it could be, but you know what? Until she's proven otherwise, I stand behind her.
okay, because I don't think right off the bat she came out and said it was mental health related.
Okay.
She said that she just didn't want to talk to the press, and I think it was after a loss, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, I mean, we don't have to go too much into it. I was just, she says she's shaming those pleas for help. I mean, to me, this is someone that has, lived a pretty good life, lives in Beverly Hills, and that doesn't always make you happy. I totally understand.
I know a
that.
lot of fucked up people live in Beverly Hills.
Yeah,
too.
no doubt
Okay?
about it.
So just because you live in Beverly Hills doesn't make you, queen for the day.
Yeah.
All right. Because there's a lot of jackasses.
Well, and she was fine, and she just withdrew from the entire French Open. So that is interesting.
Well,
But so we'll see where it goes.
We'll see where
Hopefully,
it goes.
she gets the help she
Right,
needs.
because there are a lot of folks out there that this is a cry for help. And if it's a false cry for help, shame on her. But if it's truly a legitimate cry for help her.
I agree. And I don't think athletes are heroes by any means. They're promoted as such at times, but this goes to show that sometimes the grind, the everyday just work you have to put in as an athlete, it does mentally get to you. Yes. I mean, there's only one Tiger Woods. There's only one Michael Jordan, where the guys are just relentless and they're able to conquer all these things. So anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens here in the future. I'm curious how things go for her, but if she's struggling with something,
right,
by all means. Yeah. Bill, I want to get to some great news, which we could have talked about a little earlier. A few weeks ago, you and I were on here talking about a fan of the show, a Rio Hondo prep alum, Mr. Peter Clark, who it was not looking good for him in the hospital. Heart was not working all that great and was going to need surgery. So much support from the Rio Hondo Care Youth League community. It turns out, Bill, that not only is he doing well, he's up and moving. He recovered from surgery. He's actually home. And this is something that nobody saw coming. He's apparently one of the 1% of people that survive the type of thing he's been through. So I am just blown away. And the show, as we mentioned last week, are pulling for him. And to Pete Clark out there, man, God bless you. And congrats on a great recovery, and hopefully a lot more coming.
God works in mysterious ways. And in this case, he did the right thing. He blessed someone who needed to be blessed. And I echo what you say. God bless him. I don't know the gentleman, but I've heard nothing but good things, and I wish him the best. And I'm very happy for him and his family.
Majority of our show, probably listeners, know Pete well. And so, yeah, definitely that is just outstanding news. Okay, but let's get to,
I haven't been this serious on a show ever. I mean, we're talking about some deep stuff that's life and death and, mental health related. And so anyway, what do you got?
All it took was a John W. North freshman boys t-shirt to make you serious. So here we go. Let's loosen it up. Let's get a little, let's get stupid. Let's get, I got two big questions for you. Which one do you want first, from SKW or from Mr. Brian Earls?
Let's go Brian Earls.
Brian Earls. Okay. For 200, Brian Earls. All right. Brian Earls has written in a few times. He is a college football official. He's been on this show before. Big fan of the podcast, and someone I've worked some football games with, and a great up and coming official, Bill. I'm sure you've seen him.
I've heard his name. I hear nothing but good things.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay. All right. From Mr. Brian Earls, I had a question for you and Bill. First, I agree with John Lee. I also enjoyed the interview with Coach Randy Benton.
I did.
I know. It was, is this how it ends? We still could get to that. I played for Randy at RCC back in 2003 before he made his switch to UCR.
So then I would have umpired some of his games back.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, Brian, that batting average.
Hey, if I fucked you on a pitch, I apologize.
Buy him a beer.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. So before he made the switch to UCR, he said he was a good coach. It was nice to hear his voice and also some war stories you guys had while on the diamond together. I am happy that he has had success in running a program of his own. Quote. So that's how it ends.
Yeah.
So he liked that quote too.
Good.
Okay. This is a great one, Bill. Brian says, my question is, why don't hitters take advantage of the defensive shift? As a left-handed hitter, a bunt down the third base line is an easy single and could even be a double for a guy with speed. That would raise their batting average, give his team a base runner, and force teams to go back to their original positions, which would then open up the right side. So let's see. Oh, yeah, here we go. How many times have you guys had some meathead tattoo a line drive on a ground ball into shallow right field for an easy out? So just attempt it once or twice, and even if it's a foul ball, teams would adjust. So,
well, you're not going to tell a guy who's making $30 million a year, who's a dead pull left-handed hitter, there's three guys on the right side of the infield to garner against such pull hitting. You're not going to tell this guy who, is a dead pull hitter. You're not going to change him. You're not going to change him because that's the way he's done it his whole career. That's what's got him there. So is it ego? A little bit? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it, this has got me this far and I think I can overcome the shift? Could be. You're just not going to change that guy. Now, there are some that might be able to adjust a little bit. If you're a dead pull left-handed hitter, you get a pitch, the pitcher makes a mistake and throws one on the outer half of the plate. You may just, slap it into left field and the shift went for naught.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the majority, it's like you're, how many times do guys bunt now in baseball?
Not enough.
They don't. How many times do they hit and run now? They don't. It's a game of power. It's either a strikeout or a home run.
Yeah.
It's become a game of slow pitch softball from the 60s.
Well, this is what Brian ended his statement with. He says, it seems like the analytics of baseball these days is enamored with the home run and the all or nothing approach.
You took the words out of my mouth, Brian. Yes, absolutely. So that's how I feel about it. You're not going to tell, let's see, who do they play an overshift for? Like a Max Muncy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're not going to tell a Max Muncy that, hey, I want you to take it to left field. That's just not in his playbook.
Yeah. Well, I remember David Ortiz one time, they shifted on him and he bunted to third base and he walked to first.
Well, David Ortiz he was the kind of guy, he was a different kind of cat, if he saw that and, he goes, why not?
Yeah. Get on.
But there's a lot of guys that it doesn't matter. They're going to try to do what they do.
What I remember, Brian, to your point, I've thought this many times. I was like, wait a minute, if you just do it a few times, then they get out of the shift and then you're back to hitting. So that point is absolutely good. And I'll say, Bill, at the college level, most guys, if I don't care who you are, unless you're, the top 5 guy in the country, you get up there and they shift on you, you're bunting the ball to third base. You're going to do what I tell you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't see a lot of it in college.
No,
we didn't see a lot of it.
But now this brings up a point that I want to bring up because of this and because baseball fans are just, there shouldn't be a shift. There shouldn't be a shift.
Well, you're going to see, especially with the knucklehead commissioner that's in there now, you may see a rule down the road.
I know.
You can only have 2 guys on each side of second base.
That's stupid. That may happen.
I know it might happen. That may happen.
That's the solution because guys can't hit out of a shift. Ted Williams did just fine, with Ted Williams, the original shift, right?
Yeah. There's no shift for hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't put a guy in the seats and make a catch on a fly ball because it's a home run still. All right.
Good point.
Okay. So with that said, it should be done more. I agree. But Major League Baseball players are who they are. They do what got them there, and they're not about to switch. No manager is going to tell the guy, hey, I want you to bunt up third base. They're going to go, fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And they're going to, if you think a manager on most teams runs the team, you're sadly mistaken. No. He's there to manage the clubhouse. He's there to make sure that superstar A can get along with superstar B and that shitbird A isn't, completely ostracized by the stars.
And answer the questions from the media.
Right.
And,
right. Absolutely.
So, and I want to, the more you pay these guys, the more you pay them, the less they do. That's kind of my thought.
But see, they know going in, When Joe Madden got hired to manage the Angels, I'm sure he said, Joe, you have to talk to the media, win, lose, or draw after every game. He knows that. So he knows he signed on to do that as a manager. Okay. And so that kind of differs a little bit from, I think, maybe the athletes that are in a sport where it's just them.
Yeah, that's one part of individual sport. Yeah. But yeah, what's this shift? I mean, yeah, that'll be the solution. Well, you can't do that. And it's like, we want to change rule. The rule changes that occur, there's always this great idea and reasoning behind them. They're not always the right reason. It's like, you're going to make the game more offensive or offensive. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's becoming offensive. It's becoming a very bad product.
Home run strikeout. I saw Bill. We talk about catchers every week. I saw some pitches. Who was it? Kansas City. The guy caught the ball. The whole ball's in the zone. He catches it and then moves his glove to the middle of the plate. I'm like, what are you doing?
I know. You're taking a strike, making it look like a ball.
Yeah. And then the dugouts yell at you, umpires. While we're on this subject, I am so pissed off every time I see this. Once again, a couple ejections that occurred, and the announcers who don't know anything, most of them, I have a few friends, constantly saying, well, why is the umpire looking over at the dugout? Bill, hey, Bill. Oh, see, he turned and looked.
What?
Yeah, I'm yelling at Bill.
Yeah.
Is Bill just going to ignore me when I'm yelling at him?
Right.
That's how, well, he shouldn't look over there. There's someone yelling at him that wants his attention.
The other way and say, what do you want?
Bill, I'm over here.
I hear you. What?
How can he hear that? They're saying it because he can hear it. Like, don't listen to some of the things you hear from he was staring at him as he's walking away. Yeah, he's talking crap walking away.
Two real quick things on baseball, on the how you can make it a better game. Do something about the rule about a lane violation.
Oh, we want to get into this? What's the problem with the runner's lane violation?
After how long has the game been played now?
Over 100 years.
They still can't figure the fucking thing out.
Players or who?
Players and managers.
It's very simple.
I know it is. I know it is. And when you see it on replay, it becomes very simple. The problem is these repeat offenders don't get it, and they never will.
But I would say, Bill, most people pretend to want to, people don't want to know the rules. They don't want to know them. They think they know, and they're like, that's good enough for them.
I mean, and I like Major League Baseball enforces it. I will give them that. They enforce it.
Heck yeah.
Now let's transition to the college game on a forced play slide at second base. That if you enforce that every time, which umpires don't, if you do it every time, the college rule, you have to basically slide right at the base and not deviate 1 inch either way.
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with the ability to complete the double play either. That's a shit house every time it's called.
They try to make it as simple as possible, and people still screw it up.
You know what? I blame the rules committee in NCAA baseball for not making it, being emphatic about it.
A bigger point of
emphasis. A bigger point. Okay. All right. I agree with the kid who does the
close call sports.
Yeah, that guy's outstanding.
Oh, he's great.
Whoever that guy is.
Yeah.
He's great. He should be the national coordinator rules guy for college baseball.
Yeah.
Okay. He is outstanding. He puts it very simple into layman's terms and quotes from the rule book. Mm-hmm. Outstanding. And I saw one the other day, and at first I looked at it and I go, Jesus Christ, that's pretty shitty. And then I looked at it and he explained it, and it was a great fucking call.
Was it the college game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the game could have ended.
Yeah. It was a walk-up, bottom of the ninth. And as umpires, you're like, why?
That took some stones, man.
It did. Yeah.
And whoever that umpire was, I don't know who it was. Some guy from the South SEC. You got a brass set of balls.
I saw it. I was like, I don't like that. And then I saw the arm kind of cross and punch the guy. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No.
When I saw the arm come up and he deviated outside a little bit.
Yeah.
And I go, after looking at it, I'm going, that is an outstanding call.
Let's get it in real time is something.
Real time's a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Real time is a bitch. The other thing that I wanted to talk on was players don't know the rules anymore. Mm-hmm. And what you saw in that Pirate Cub game where Javi Baez
ran backwards.
Yeah. You have 2 outs. All that Pirate first baseman had to do was simply walk over and step on first base. Okay, you've all seen the play. I'm not going to be redundant. If you haven't, look it up. It's very simple to look up. It's been viewed probably 15 million times.
Yeah.
The Pirate manager, Derek Shelton, and we'll get into Derek Shelton in a second. Derek Shelton said, "Hey, that's on me." He goes, "These guys should know the rules. I should explain it to them. We should have a 2-day long course in rules in spring training."
You should have probably learned that in like Little League, though.
Again, though, that's gonna play into my next point. Is they don't teach. That's not taught in Little League.
2 outs, 4
travel
outs.
ball.
Yeah.
It's a travel ball mentality where everybody just wants to go out there and throw 100 miles an hour because you got 15 radar guns back there, or you want to hit the ball 700 feet. Yeah. The rules are something that you don't learn until you learn it the hard way. And in this case, this poor Pirate first baseman, who's a major league fucking baseball first baseman, looks like a complete ass clown by not knowing what the fuck to do. Even after they made the play on the guy who was safe at the plate, if the second baseman's covering when he should have been and the throw is true, there's an out recorded and that run doesn't score. You're still out of the inning.
Yeah.
So that was an absolute quagmire shit show of a play.
Yeah.
That is embarrassing to a major league team.
Definitely summed up the Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates.
And it also goes the Pirates, not only the Pirates, but in the entire Major League Baseball it's a bad product right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have absolutely zero interest in going to a Major League Baseball game. I'll go down. I could walk there from my house. I'll go down to a Rancho Cucamonga Quake game before I go see a Major League game.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say hi to my good friend,
Dr. Chris Alba.
Dr. Chris up in the box announcing the game. I'll yell up at him and have a great time. You know, I heard the other night I was laying in bed, I had a window open, and I think it was Saturday night. I don't know. I heard a big roar, I heard a big crowd, and I heard a PA system, right? I can hear the ballpark from my house.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it was a walk-off win.
Walk-off grand slam.
Was that what it was? No wonder I heard.
He texted me, yeah.
A walk-off grand slam.
Yeah.
Okay.
In A-ball.
Probably, I think the same night that Pujols should have won the game after my good little pal Austin Barnes hit a 3-run homer to tie it, which is very unlike him. And then you had Pujols get robbed of a game winner.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Giants go on to sweep them.
Yep.
So anyway, baseball can be great and it can be really, really bad.
Yeah. It's sums up life pretty well.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes you go to bed with Marilyn Monroe and sometimes you wake up with Marilyn Manson. Okay. Anyway, picture that.
Yeah.
That's a sight for sore eyes.
Oh my goodness.
A man with tits.
Oh, jeez.
Love it.
Oh, Rancho Quakes baseball.
I'm sorry. A man with breasts. Sorry to those that might have taken, Hey, it's time to lighten it up.
Right? You've done it. Second half. Here he comes. There you go.
It's time to turn the funny ha-ha hat on.
Oh boy, Quakes baseball. Yeah, they're back, which is nice. And yeah, absolutely. You got plenty of room to breathe out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You can stretch out.
Get a cold one for $4 or something.
And that's my excuse for not wearing the fucking mask is I'm drinking something.
Yeah.
And nobody's around me. I'm by myself. I don't have to, no one's going to bother me.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And Chris Alba, as you mentioned, is the narrator.
Maybe he'll give me if I go to a game, maybe he'll give me a tour of the press box.
There you go. You hear Chris Alba before every podcast here on the Get Home Safe podcast.
I know that's the voice of of the podcast.
Absolutely. So yeah, a great broadcaster or PA guy. Got to get him back on the show.
Guy.
Oh man.
He needs to further his PA public address form.
He's been there. He's been there, done that. He's happy doing the local stuff now,
Okay, great.
Anyway, okay. Question here from someone known as SKW.
SKW from the Temecula area.
Yes.
She works in for a county facility that prosecutes people. So I won't give it away.
Okay. All right. Well, he says
they actually prosecute people in Riverside County, unlike LA County.
Yes, Riverside County. God bless our county here. Okay, SKW. Hey there. Great to have you guys to listen to on Wednesday mornings. Your ramblings make the realities. Your ramblings make the realities of my workday a little less bleak. I have a couple of questions for you to kick around. Number one, what are your thoughts on a state that is consistently pleading poverty deciding to pay people if they don't do, quote, the right thing, i.e. the vaccination lottery. To vax or not to vax is no longer the question, but paying people?
Okay, first of all, that's a bad idea. Basically, okay, whether you believe in the vaccine or not, and that's, again, a personal choice. I believed in it. Because you know what? People forget all these, and I'm not going to shed any disfavorable comments on them, but what people don't remember is that this whole vaccine idea was the brainchild of Donald Trump. He said early on, the only way we're going to beat this is with a vaccine. Therefore, Operation Warp Speed, let's get it done. Okay. So this was sponsored by Donald Trump. This was a Donald Trump sponsored event, even though Biden tried to take credit for it. It was a Donald Trump production. Okay. And for those, and they say that the anti-vaccine people are hardcore Republicans. Well, I think maybe these hardcore Republicans need to maybe think back and go, wait a minute, the hardest core Republican of them all, President Donald Trump, it was his brainchild. So you forget about things. You get warped by the press. The press twists shit. You get your mind in a fucked up gutter somewhere, and you get foggy. Now, again, it's your choice. I got the vaccine as soon as I could. So I'm pissed because here I'm doing the right thing, supposedly. I'm out there trying to get vaccinated, achieve herd immunity, get us back to where we can start living again. And for whatever reason, they start throwing out the bone where if you go get the vaccine, we're going to give away Laker tickets. We're going to give away $1 million. We're going to give away a fucking ham or a turkey or whatever the case may be. If you're dead set against it, like yourself, then stay with your laurels and don't do it. It's to get the folks that
Are on the fence?
That are on the fence or are lazy about getting it done. The ones that perhaps are just sitting back on their ass, and maybe then the lottery mentality kicks in and they decide, wow, they're going to give away. Yeah, I'll go do it.
What else will you do for money?
Yeah, it's a bribe.
It is a bribe.
It's a bribe.
And it's kind of disturbing to me in the sense.
You think I'm not, I was one, in my opinion, in the position I have, I was one of the ones who decided, hey, I'm going to get this done fast and quick and try to, do the right thing and be a good American and get this thing over with. I'm not in the running for a turkey or a ham, okay, or $1 million or Laker tickets. Not that I'd sell them because I don't give a shit about the Lakers. I wouldn't mind Kings tickets, the LA Kings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I'm you're not going to give me a turkey. So it's the whole mentality of, be lazy, sit on your ass. We'll pay you. We'll send you a check. And now it's be lazy, sit on your ass this long. We still want more vaccines. So we're going to pay you.
Yeah.
It's like, do your homework. I don't want to. Okay. I'll do it for you.
Yeah. Well, here,
I'll pay you $100. Get it done. We don't care what, it's sending the wrong message.
But back to the vaccine, like Bill, if you're wearing a bulletproof vest, what do you care if I don't have one on? You know what I mean? You care about me, I guess, but
I do. I'll tell you why. Because if we're in the same scene, you get shot, you're not protected. Now I got to carry your heavy lard ass away. Where if you had a vest on, we'd still be fighting. Now I have to quit fighting, and I got to save you.
Okay, so maybe a bad analogy.
That's a bad analogy.
Okay,
but let's just stay with the whole thing. I've had the shots. You haven't. You're not going to infect me.
So what do you? Yeah,
I don't care.
So what do you care if I have the vaccine or not?
I don't care.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't give a flying fuck.
Which most people should not care.
I don't care.
If you get it, if you get the vaccine, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's not 100%, but still,
there was other reasons. I want to do the right thing. I know I had it in November. I was probably good, but I wasn't sure. Now I'm pretty. There's a pretty good chance that if my beliefs are correct, that if I followed the science correctly, that I'm extremely immune from it.
Yeah.
However, who knows? And maybe in 30 years, when I'm 90 years old, I'll have horns growing out of my head. At that point in time, I won't give a shit.
We pay people for everything in this state. We pay people to not work. We pay people to get a vaccine, apparently, that is Not fully approved, mind you, but still a lot of people do it. And I don't mind. If people want to do it, it's all good.
Okay. It was approved for emergency basis.
Use.
Okay, let's explore that, shall we? You fall down right here. You try to get up and you fall down and you bump your head on that glass and you gash your head open. All right. You're not going right to surgery, are you? You're going to the emergency room, and they're going to be able to do good things. They're going to stitch you up, give you some nice pain medication, and go on your merry way. Emergency. Look up the term emergency use. Doesn't mean it's a gamble. It doesn't mean it's a crapshoot. It means that it's an emergency use pending approval for full use.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Okay. All right.
I am not.
I made my point.
Like I said, you made your point, Bill. I'm not saying anyone who gets vaccinated is as a sheep or anything like that. No, if by all means, and there's plenty of people out
people
there
say it's an emergency use only. Well, fuck. You know what? The door on the airplane when you're going to fucking crash is an emergency exit, and I'm by God going to take it before I burn up in the fucking thing.
So you don't have any thoughts to potential risks?
No, I don't. I live for one day at a time.
There you go.
You know, if my finger falls off, I was going to use another thing, but I don't want to get that. I don't want to go there. If some, you know what, so be it. I took the risk, and I'll live and hopefully not die with my decision.
Mm-hmm. Well, to answer your question, SKW, I think it's disturbing that we are going to try to pay people like that. Is like, well, what else are you going to pay people for? Are you going to pay people who do, I don't know, what's something ridiculous that you would pay people for with that? It's like as a
not
bribe.
To be a fucking criminal.
Yeah, there you
How
go.
about that?
Hey, congrats. You didn't break any laws today.
Yeah.
Here's some money.
Yeah. Hey, you didn't go do a drive-by today. Here's $100. Congratulations.
Yeah. I mean,
come on.
Back to it. I mean, if you think all those people in Texas and Florida, you think all of them are vaccinated? All the people at these games in the SEC outside without masks, you think they're vaccinated?
They're not.
They're not vaccinated. They're just not living in fear of something that 99% of people survive.
Right. Okay. The way I looked at the facts and the science, the elderly and those living in squalor, dense conditions were the most vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Those folks have been vaccinated.
Mm-hmm. The
spread has basically come to a shit screeching halt.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
More people now are probably dying from a DUI accident than they are from COVID now. So let's open the doors, take off the masks, take the bars off the window, put every seat at a bar, and let's all sit down and drink just like they do Menifee style, where there's an ass for every chair.
Yeah, I love it.
All right.
Love it. Menifee. Great stuff. God's country down there. Okay. Hopefully that answered your question, SKW. Yeah, paying people is, or even any bribe really is ridiculous. Okay. This is her second one. This was a television show, Bill. She says, you are the designated survivor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Kiefer Sutherland was in that show.
I remember the show. Yeah.
The whole Capitol, everyone got blown up, and he was like the HUD secretary, and
he was the secretary of
not housing and development.
No, he was the secretary of pavement control or something.
Environmental
something. Yeah.
Something.
It was low down on the food chain.
Became the president, but so he was not expected to be the president. But anyway, her question, SKW says that you are the designated survivor. What is your first order of business and why? The reference is to the original ABC show, now on Netflix. Show was good. Concept was wild. I agreed. I started it, didn't finish it.
Okay.
What's your first order?
Eliminate the Democratic Party. They are no longer a sanctioned party. They're done. Call them the Communist Party, call them the Socialist Party, call them the fucked up party. You call them whatever you want to call them. They're no longer.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm writing an executive order.
You're going to get some pushback.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Hey, who's there to push back? They're all dead.
In Congress, and the people in Congress. Okay.
No, when they do those things, the designated survivor is the only swinging dick that they don't let go, and he's in a room in a bunker somewhere, and then the Capitol building gets bombed, and they all die.
But I'm saying there's more. I mean, what, half the country
beggars can't be choosers at that point. They should just be happy they're fucking alive. Okay.
Okay.
All right. It's chaotic right now, and I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm going to eliminate the Democratic Party.
Okay. If it happens today, SKW, here's a couple things I would do. First of all, stop the extra money for unemployment because there's people opening up, there's jobs out there, and people are just not wanting to work because it's more cost effective to stay home and not do anything and get paid. I was one of those people for a long time, and I finally found a job and pursued it. I would definitely across the nation, open all schools, no nonsense, no distance learning, regular school year starting in August. So I would do that. What else would an executive order? I've never had this power before. Maybe make this podcast national. What do you think? I think it is national, I guess, but make this a primetime event so people would have to hear us every. We do a show every day if we had some money behind this bill.
Then our building would get bombed. They would take us out immediately.
Make the Get Home Safe podcast.
It'd be go to hell safe. We'd be done.
Oh, he's back.
I rarely laugh at my own jokes, but that was pretty
good. That wasn't bad. That was pretty good. Yeah, you know what? I'll have to think of that, SKW, and it's as far as some executive power, There's a lot of things in California I would change. That's for sure. Criminals would go to jail. They'd stay there. We'd build more jails if necessary.
The bail system would be back.
I'd probably make the death penalty instant so that it'd take maybe a week. And
we would clear the deck. we would drain the swamp there. Absolutely. Yeah. We'd start gassing people tonight.
Oh boy. Whew. Okay.
Giving them the shot, the horse needle, however they want to die, we'll accommodate you. You want to get shot? Come here. Boom. Done.
Make sure you rub the arm with alcohol first so that they don't get infected with the syringe. I've seen that before. Okay. Okay. Let me take a breath here. That was funny stuff. All right. Kimberly Klacik. Yeah. She should run for office again.
She sure should.
Yeah. She'll be back. Tough loss this last year. Okay.
What did she run for?
She ran for Congress in Maryland, in the Baltimore area, Republican. Yeah. Okay. Bill, it's Wednesday. How was your long weekend? I don't remember what it's called. I just heard it was a long weekend and we're supposed to enjoy the long weekend. I don't know why.
I was starting to get in a good mood. I was starting to be funny, haha, and you've got to bring that shit up. Well, I'll tell you how good my weekend was. It was outstanding. It was Memorial Day. And for those who know me, those who follow me on Facebook, I ranted on a post about how completely disrespectful our vice president was by labeling it a long weekend, not even mentioning the word Memorial
with
Day.
A picture of herself, mind you.
Yeah. No, I didn't put a picture of her on there.
No, I know you didn't.
I put a picture of a coffin with an American flag over it and some servicemen carrying it. And, so for those of you that don't follow, I will read it. It's quite short. I'll read it and maybe you can draw whatever conclusions you want from this. I got some very, very good feedback, a lot of likes. Okay. Okay. Let me do this. Here is
the mic.
Here. Yeah. Here is if you can see the picture. The picture is of a coffin with the American flag over it, some servicemen carrying it. And my caption read the following. Seeing pictures like this make me appreciate the sacrifices that our brave men and women have done for this country. Dating back to its beginnings and up through the present, our military doesn't receive the accolades they deserve. I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to say I support our troops. Now here comes the juicy part. Not to be negative or tarnish this post, but I just wish our vice president could have said something along these lines. Instead, she wished everyone a nice long weekend, end quote. She couldn't even mutter the word Memorial Day. She ought to thank every military person she sees for having fought and sacrificed so her immigrant parents could come to this country and conceive her. Might I add, raise her as a contriving, lying, deceiving, and self-absorbed concubine that she has turned out to be. Vice President, my ass. You are everything a leader of this country should not be. I apologize to absolutely no one for this post. God bless America.
Bill, do you know how hard it is to mess up a post, a quote, a tweet, anything regarding something like Memorial Day?
You have to work at doing that.
You know how hard it is?
She is un-American. She hates this country. She doesn't like the police. She doesn't like the military. She thinks that we're all a bunch of fucking cold-blooded killers. And guess what? She was once a district attorney.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I would love if I ever met her husband, this dork, whatever his name is, this attorney. I would love
masked kisser.
I would love to walk up into him and say, "Hey, I think his name's Doug. Hey, Doug. Hey, tell me, how does Willie Brown and Montel Williams taste?"
Oh, Bill. Ouch. Ouch. That one's tough.
It's a simple question.
We don't need an answer. But that's my point with Memorial. It's like
Again,
all you have to
for
say
that statement I just said, I apologize to absolutely fucking nobody. Taking a quote out of my good friend
Aldini. No, Conor McGregor. Yeah.
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. What a character.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to all you have to say is, God bless, the people, the troops who fought and died for this country. We're lucky. We're fortunate to live in a great country.
She's the fucking vice president.
You can't mention
support your troops, man.
You can't say Memorial Day or say anything about the military.
You're one heartbeat away from being, God forbid, you're one heartbeat away from being the commander in chief.
Yeah. Yeah. Commander of the military.
Yes.
So I just find it. I wrote this down because it was a thought that I had, Bill. With her tweet. Do you ever notice how those on the left, they make a point? They go out of their way to never mention. I would say never. I want to say a lot of times to not mention God or the military unless it's absolutely necessary. It's like cuss words to them. It's like they avoid it.
How could people that do what they do say God? Because they'd be the biggest hypocrite in the fucking world if they did. These are not God-fearing people. These are absolute, complete, bad people, for lack of better words.
But you can't say Happy Memorial Day. Hey, remember what Monday's about. You couldn't say anything. Enjoy have a long weekend.
No, because she's feeding her constituents by ignoring them. She's feeding her constituents, the sick, lame, lazy, the homeless, the people that worship her because they are zeros like her.
It's pretty sickening, man. I saw that. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I'm not a constituent of hers.
No,
I work for a living. I believe in this country. I believe in a higher being. I believe that all good people do good things most of the time. And I certainly don't believe in what she's about or her boss, Biden. And that's not her boss, by the way. I don't know what he's in another.
I heard a rumor that, that it was a theory really that, I haven't seen much of her, maybe because she's behind the scenes, possibly running things.
Well, that would make sense because it's really, really fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I heard that too.
So I wanted to, this cracked me up, and I wanted to get your reaction to this. This is from another rudderless ship. These actors and actresses, they think their opinions really matter, and they change the world. Cynthia Nixon, who was
oh god,
she's a lunatic. Basically,
she's one notch above what's her name? That other crazy redhead. The one that had the
Kathy Griffin.
Yeah, there's a complete psychopathic lunatic right there.
She should be in jail.
She should be
that's an assault.
She should be put to sleep like a rabid dog.
Yeah. Let's see. So this is a quote she had. I saw this and I wanted to, because in New York City, which is a war zone most days.
Absolutely.
CVS.
Any Democratic big city is a war zone.
Yes.
Continue.
Name one that isn't.
Right.
But anyway, she was in her local CVS in Soho, and she was looking at
Soho.
So that's not a borough, one of the places
in New York.
In New York, yeah.
Okay.
New York City.
All right.
I remember what it stands for. It doesn't matter. So she basically was quoted. she saw at the CVS, like basic items were kind of locked up, right?
Yeah.
Because people steal things. And so her quote, she says, quote, as so many families can't make ends meet right now, I can't imagine thinking that the way to solve the problem of people stealing basic necessities out of desperation is to prosecute them. Basically, things are locked up. How could you do that to people who need items? So basically, go ahead and steal stuff.
Okay. You simply cannot rationalize with the irrational. And that's a perfect example.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. She lives in a $3.2 million apartment, by the way. Maybe she should donate some items. I don't know.
Go out and buy everything and give and go play Robin Hood. Okay.
Yeah. So she cares nothing of the store owners. She cares nothing.
Of course not.
I mean, we are in this epidemic of just give people things. Give people stuff. You know what? If I want something, Bill, I gotta go pay for it. If you want something, you gotta go buy it.
Even if it's Goodwill, where I buy my shirts.
Absolutely.
I gotta go buy it.
Yeah, you find a way.
Right.
But this concept that we're in, where it started back in March of 2020, April, where it was just like, well, we're gonna give people stuff, get them by. That's not a good habit. There's extreme situations when people need things. Everyone's out of work and everything, but this is not a solution. This is not a solution. It's socialism to kind of give it to
talk to the
things.
Cubans, go talk to the Venezuelans, go talk to a lot of people that lived in a communist run country and see how it worked out. It became an absolute shit show. And this is what this country's turning into. And we need some solid, good leadership like they have in Texas, like they have in Florida like they have in South Dakota to turn this rudderless ship around.
Got to, man. Absolute got to. Bill, what do you think of our new setup here, man? You like this little comfort?
I do. I feel like I'm on the Joe Rogan podcast here, where you just point counterpoint. We're facing each other. Yeah, I like it.
Still could see the camera. Yeah. We got our flag still. I mean,
I like it. It's the show is working.
Improving.
It's improving.
You and I are people who can adjust. We can adjust to things. You're not set in your ways, are you?
No, not really. Some things, some things. Yeah.
Oh boy. No, it's been fun. I thought, yeah, because we had the problem of you keep facing me, sitting side by side, not talking into the mic. And this definitely proves it. It's more of a conversation.
Yeah.
And did you happen to see Mike Jarbo and I had a fast food draft last week? You were brought up a few times as someone in the back seat. God. You remember?
Yes.
Remember when Mike said, "If my tacos are compromised?"
Yes, yes. I had a really good plan going that summer until I got back with you guys, and I'm eating meals at 2:30 in the morning. Right? At that time I was a 58-year-old, 57-year-old man, and guys my age can't eat at 2:00.
It's rough.
And I'm thinking, what the fuck am I doing? I'm going to have congenital heart failure here shortly, and sleep until 2 p.m. and, turning the air conditioner down to 52 degrees.
Oh, I miss those days.
And just, letting the world go to hell. And I just sleep it off. It was great.
Yeah. No responsibilities.
Yeah, none, zero.
The road is not a pretty place. It's not that glamorous. It's late nights. It's fast food. No,
you get to see a lot of places, and as you're driving, and then, it's fun until it's not anymore.
Got that right.
And then it's a fucking dread.
I'll tell you though, and I really, really mean this. That was one of the best 30 days of my life. The three of us together.
I'm glad I could entertain.
Yeah. The stories, the humor, 30 days. We had a great time.
I showed that ejection that I had on Bobby Brown in Lincoln to my buddy yesterday. And he was a former pitcher at USC back in the middle 80s. He played for both Rod Dato and then Mike Gillespie. And he's a good friend of our pal Vinny Baron-Healy.
Oh, Vince.
They played during the same time.
Cal State LA coach.
Phil, my buddy, he got a kick out of that. He goes, "Man, you held your ground." And then I told him the real story behind the story. And he goes, he almost fell out of his chair.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah,
absolutely. Wouldn't mind reaching out to Bobby Brown, getting him on the podcast. That'd be interesting. Right? I want a few coaches on here, Bill.
Yeah,
that's why we had the great Randy Benton interview. I think Vince would be a really fun one. So guys, as always, anybody has suggestions, throw them my way and we can piece it together. This weekend, Bill, you and I are no longer working, but we have a lot of colleagues who are. The NCAA Baseball Regionals, 16 sites, 6 umpires per site. I don't remember what that number is.
Did I congratulate Mike on the pre-show?
That was
or
Facebook. That was Facebook, yeah.
Your guy that lives right down the hall from you,
yeah,
Mr. Mike Jarbo, is going to TCU here shortly. In fact, I'm going to drive him to the airport is when we conclude here, if he's ready. Okay, if he's not, munching on some type of seaweed or something, we can get him in the car with his bags and get him to the airport.
Yeah.
He's going to go to down in Fort Worth, Texas, and work the TCU end, and he's got a big winter game on Saturday.
Yeah. One of many guys who's out there working this weekend.
Yeah. Again, I want to congratulate the 7 out of 8. That
7 out of 8 who?
7 out of 8 World Series umpires.
Oh,
down the road. Okay.
Guys in Omaha. Yeah. I got you. Message delivered. That's so funny. But regionals should be a good time. Nothing really local. You know what I think? Here's what I think. I think the NCAA, if it had any, wisdom at all, they should have said, no, the states that are not allowing fans or limited access, the Oregons of the world, the Californians of the world, you don't get to host. Now University of Oregon and Stanford ended up hosting, but
that's being punitive.
It is, but the NCAA and their infinite wisdom, apparently they had 20 predetermined sites. So if say a 2 seed or a 3 seed wins in a regional and advances the super regional, they might have to play the regional at a neutral site instead of hosting.
More importantly, I think teams that better themselves and become a D1 team like Cal Baptist in Riverside, it is ludicrous to make them wait 3 years before they can go and participate. They won their conference. They were co-champs with Grand Canyon.
Really?
And they're sitting home.
That's ridiculous.
That is bullshit.
That's 2 sports now. Women's basketball, right? Didn't they go undefeated?
Great. I mean, they're putting Division I college sports on the map in the Inland Empire. They have surpassed UC Riverside and they've surpassed probably, they beat like Pepperdine 2 out of 3 games when they played this year.
Wow. They
held their own. I think they beat UC, they had the last weekend of the season, they played Riverside. I think they beat them. So congratulations to Coach Gary Adcock, who would be a good guy to have on the show.
Yeah.
Gary and his staff, hardworking coach. He and I have battled, and I mean battled on the field, right? And
Gary's funny.
I like Gary. I umpired him when he was in Pony League.
That's hilarious.
Okay. And he was 5'2" then, and he's 5'2" now.
He's done a great job with that program.
And he's done a great job.
And
congratulations to him for having a first completed Division I season. Last year was preempted, and he won it.
Yeah.
Had a great year.
It's crazy.
And good, man. I mean, and it's ludicrous that these teams who better themselves, who make that step up. Okay. Back when the Colorado Rockies were an expansion team, if they won their league, you think they were going to not be able to play?
I know. It's
what
so
the
stupid.
Fuck is going
What's
on?
the reasoning?
And I've yet to hear
there's no reason.
I've yet to hear a good reason.
You got Division II players from the year before who come up, and maybe you recruit D1 guys after that. But yeah, it's like, why should you be prohibited? You should be almost rewarded if you advance and win a conference or something. And I know Joe Wellman is an assistant basketball coach for the men's team at Cal Baptist University. He's been on the program a few times. And so the entire university in the athletic department has excelled beyond, the projections, and they're being punished for it. It's ridiculous.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, Grand Canyon won their when they became an expansion D1 team.
Same thing.
They were a great ball club. Andy Stankiewicz, the former Yankee down there, does a great job. He turned down bigger jobs to stay there, and it's worked out. So I don't get it. And that's another reason the NCAA as a whole in each sport, especially baseball, in my opinion, needs to be overhauled.
Yeah.
There needs to be an absolute engine rebuild.
Changes in the living arrangements.
Yes.
Big time.
Yes.
We won't go through the whole bracket or anything, but a few local teams are in the tournament, Bill.
Right.
UC Irvine is going up to Stanford. That should be an interesting series. And then the aforementioned Grand Canyon, they're actually in Tucson playing Arizona. So the in-state battle there, and UC Santa Barbara, the other Big West teams in that regional as well. I think that's the toughest regional in the country. Arizona, Oklahoma State, UC Santa Barbara, and Grand Canyon. So a lot of local.
Give me that one again.
Arizona, Oklahoma State,
Okay.
UC Santa Barbara, and Grand Canyon.
Anybody could win that.
Anybody
Can win that. That's a great regional.
Big time. Then
watch out for Grand Canyon.
Big time. Yeah. They're ready to go. And a few years ago, they were a D2 school, and now look at them, WAC champions of the tournament anyway. Yeah. Gonzaga is up at Oregon. That could, I think Gonzaga might put up a fight there. And then who is it? UCLA is at Texas Tech. UCLA and North Carolina, 2 basketball schools playing in the opening round. Those schools usually host, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad UCLA isn't, because it's LA. Yeah. And they would make people sit 15 yards from each other. I know. And you'd have to bring your boy in a bubble suit and sit there and be miserable. I know.
It's ridiculous. Speaking of basketball schools, this just broke on ESPN. Mike Krzyzewski plans to retire after the 2021-22 season. So this next year will be his last.
Okay. Good call.
Yeah.
He's had a great
year. He doesn't age much, man. He's old, isn't he? He's way up there.
He's probably pushing 70, I think.
Oh man. I mean,
and, it's only 9 years older than I am. So,
but Bill,
he's in great shape. Hey, 70's the new 40.
Absolutely.
Come on,
Bill.
Mike, hang in there.
That's you, man. You got your basketball shirt on. You're ready to go, man. Let's see what else. Bill, we had a great early show. We had some new listeners.
We did.
We have some new listeners, hopefully now here with our podcast, the main show that's out. We talked about the vice president. We talked about Pete Clark. We talked about baseball. We've talked. I mean, here we are
about some current unfortunate events.
Yes, yeah, we paid tribute to that. And did I ask you what you actually did on Memorial Day? How was your Memorial Day? And you can call it Memorial Day, by the way.
Memorial Day. That was Monday, correct?
Monday, yes.
I rested up from working strenuously on Saturday. It took me 2 days to recoup, and went out to the Menifee area and had a little sit down dinner and some barbecued items.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And had a few adult beverages.
Awesome.
And
raise a glass to the fallen.
Absolutely. It was a great fun Memorial Day weekend.
I love it. I went in Norco. Had an incredible ceremony at a war memorial there. Man, so many veterans, so many great speeches. I got to meet the mayor in Norco because I was with the bagpiper, Bill. I was with Valerie Burns, who played there, and there was a flyover. I mean, it was an incredible morning, Memorial Day, and we raised a few glasses afterwards also. And the nice thing about video now, Bill, is that we can show people. Not today, we'll save it. We can show people that you, in fact, can play the bagpipes, and you haven't. That's right.
I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. One of your better days, we'll say.
Yeah, boy, yes, I recall that. Let's leave it right there.
I said this in the pre-show, and I kind of want to end it with or wrap it up here. But, I had that interview with Randy Benton, and a few people really liked it. And I as I talked with you, I was like, what a concept. Coaches are kind of fun to talk to when you're not umpiring their games, right?
Well, they're number one, a college baseball coach is a salesman because he has to recruit. Okay. So they're usually pretty good communicators to other human beings. And even if we're umpires, and in our case, we're former umpires. So they open up even more. And I've said this 1,000 times, Vinny Barron Healy from Cal State LA. I've talked to him a lot. He's a great guy. We're going to get together and have a few cocktails here shortly. We battle like hell
between the lines,
and then we're friends after. I've got a lot of high school. There's some high school coaches out there that are friends of mine. There's some college coaches. There's some professional baseball people like Stan and Stu Clyburn, the twins. They're friends of mine. Great human beings. Tim Johnson, who used to manage the Toronto Blue Jays, who then managed in the Golden League when I worked. Timmy, former LA Dodger, big leaguer, former Blue Jay back in the day, manager of the Blue Jays. We still communicate every once in a while.
Why do you think you get along with coaches off the field? You get along with them on the field too, but why do you think off the field you're able to?
I'm not I'm not tunnel visioned into just being like a traffic cop going out there and writing tickets and just being emotionless. Okay. When I walk on the field, I call them by, hey, Tim, how you doing? Hey, good to see you, and then they have to exist with us. We have to exist with them. We're kind of like this is what a parent told me one time. We're like the superintendent of the building. We have the keys to all the doors. Okay. And you got to be nice to them. You can get pissed when the plumbing breaks and they're not available to come fix the toilet. And you equate that to, you get pissed at them when you bang one of their guys out on strikes and it might've been a ball.
Yeah.
But afterwards they know that, hey, I got to count on this guy. I can't, yell at him too much because he's got to be there when the next pipe breaks.
Yeah.
So that's the whole spirit and the whole narrative of going back and forth. And then when you're done, if you're a smart baseball guy, like I think I am, and they're a smart baseball guy, you have a certain bond and you talk and you joke and you're friends. Doug Smith from UC Riverside used to be the UC Riverside coach. He and I, we talk, we get along. There's a few that I wouldn't want to even say hello to.
No.
There's a few rat bastards out there that I would not even want to, look their way. But the vast majority are good human beings. They know how to sell the sport. They have to sell their program to get these kids to come.
Yeah, you can joke afterwards.
So they're usually very good communicators, and they appreciate someone who knows the game like they do. Not probably as much, but can hold a conversation about it.
What I'm trying to compare it. Like you were a cop and civilian, that doesn't really work. Maybe like a judge and a lawyer, that relationship.
Did we talk about this?
We did. It was a pre-show, so you might have to fill us in.
I'll fill you in. For those of you who didn't see the pre-show, when I was a cop, I would go into a place that served alcohol for lunch. They also had food. Okay. And I'd go in there for lunch, and judges and attorneys will be in there just getting gassed together. Judges and attorneys. No, because they're not, he doesn't have the robe on. He's not banging the gavel. The attorney's not screaming, I object. They're off. They're done. They have in common the theory of law. Okay. Because that's what they're there to do. Enforce laws. Judges judge, attorney's attorney, coaches coach, umpires umpire. So it's kind of that, I will say this. When I was working college baseball, I never, except for my last year, which I thought was going to be my last series, I never sat down with a coach after a game and had a beer with him. I did in Colorado Springs, Colorado, my last series of 2019, when I said I was going to quit, but then I got talked back into it going the next year. I sat down with the head coach from San Jose State, good guy, Brad Sanfilippo. And I sat down with Eddie, who was his assistant, who's now at Cal State Northridge. The three of us had drinks, and I wished him a great, because they were already out of the play. They weren't going anywhere. The game the next day meant absolutely fucking nothing. Okay. In fact, it was 80 degrees at game time, and it ended up snowing halfway through. And I said, what a great way to go out. And then they talked me into coming back the next year, and I lasted until the pandemic. So except for that one time, I never, ever socialized with a college coach after a game. In pro ball, it was a little different.
Yeah.
Because they stayed in the same hotel with you. They'd come down, they'd buy you a beer. They could give two shits what happened in the game before. They don't care. It's just,
they're beyond the conspiracy theories of favoritism and stuff. It's like, no, everyone's got a job to do the next day. So exactly. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, it wasn't common, but every now and then. Yeah. Bill, as we end here, I know you've become a big fan of Rio Hondo Prep.
I understand they lost a heartbreaker yesterday.
Man, I feel for the Cares, man. You can't win a ball game if you don't score runs, right? I mean,
I've never seen a team score 0 that won. Okay, in any sport.
1-0. They had runners at second and third with 2 outs, but couldn't get them in. So a tough loss. Their season ends. I was surprised to see them in the playoffs after kind of their regular season, but they got in. So unfortunately, no more baseball. Wait till next year. It's football season again, almost. So, but you can still wear your Rio Hondo Prep hat proudly.
Plan to.
Good, Bill.
I've thrown every other hat in my wardrobe out. All I have is a Rio Hondo hat.
I love it. Well, Bill, it's been a fun show. It's
been a great show.
A lot of topics.
We've gone from one spectrum to the other. I had to put my serious hat on. Then I tried to joke a little bit, and and then we got serious again, and it's just the way life is, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get some reactions, I'm sure here.
I hope so.
That are like, "What, you guys? Oh, never mind."
I hope so. And again, the JW North shirt, and I can't wait to get home and take the fucking thing off because it's cutting off my circulation. But I wore it as I promised, and I'll wear another one next week.
Thank you, Margie. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thanks for
our most loyal listener.
Uplifting my wardrobe. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Many great guys out there who listen and tune in every week. So the show's growing. YouTube channel, subscribe, follow, all those good things.
Phone your friends, wake your neighbors, and tell the kids. One of these days I'll get that line right.
You will one day. Well, guys, thanks for tuning into this edition of the podcast. Another weekly Wednesday weigh-in. Have a great rest of the week. And as always, guys, no matter what you're doing, whether you're out on the town or around in third base, get home safe.